That's the question you're asking. And there'll be a lot of...
With the World Cup taking place at the moment and everybody's time being spread between work and their home life, I'm wondering what people get up to in their social lives. Many people will be trying to find time 3 times a day to get away from what they would be doing normally to watch the football on the telly. Now, we're lucky in the office because we've got tellies all around the office, so we're always able to look up from our computer screens to catch the matches as they're taking place. I just wondered what people are getting up to in their social lives and what people are doing nowadays, especially now that a world of social media has taken such a large role in what people would normally be doing in their free time. How do people enjoy themselves nowadays? I know for myself that I still like to get out and about as much as I can. I still like to enjoy the outdoors. I still like to meet with people and talk face to face. It's become harder since I moved up to Manchester. A lot of my interaction with other people is going to be at work. As you get older, they do say it's harder to make new friends, but it also could be a symptom of how society changes and you get older within it. Social media is obviously playing a massive role in a whole spectrum of generations' lifestyles, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's why I don't get out and about more, because like I said, I try and get out and about as much as possible, and whether that is on the weekend with Lando and Serena, or whether that is on the weekend and I'll just go to the casino to play poker, or maybe there's a work drink and I'll go and drink with some of my friends from work. I try and do it as much as possible. I'm not one for staying in the house, doing nothing, remaining idle of an evening if there's nothing to do physically and the only other option is to sit down and watch the telly, unless I've chosen to sit down and watch a film, or for instance these days I choose to sit down and watch a World Cup match. It would be very rare that I actually sit down and watch the telly. Like I said, if there's nothing to do physically, I'll probably go to sleep. I'll probably doze off on the couch, or I'll actually just go up to bed. Getting some good sleep is very valuable. I'll definitely choose sleep over that. So what are you lot getting up to anyway? I know that age has played a major role in the amount of sport that I play, and I could probably couple that with moving up here and not immediately getting into a local sports team. When I moved up to Manchester, I was about 32 years old, and I'd already kind of stopped playing Sunday League football down in London. So when I moved up here, I did think of it as an option, but I wasn't as compelled to go out and look for teams. I'll nip in here, lovely jubbly. But it was around that same time that I was also thinking, look, I'm not really that keen on playing any organised sports that much. I don't really want to commit to giving up my weekends now that I've got a new place to live and I want to go on long walks and explore. I don't really want to give up my weekends to a football team. And for me, the thing about the football team, it was always a thing that me and my friends did, you know, the circle of friends that I grew up with. We actually created a team down in London which we entered into the Sunday League format, and we did that for years. And I thought it was the end of an era when that team began to break apart. People's lives became number one. On that note as well, being in my 30s and not really feeling like I wanted to take part in a team sport, I was also thinking I'd like to turn my attention to more mental sports. I learnt to play poker from a previous job I had, where there would be a poker evening every Friday, and I never knew how to play it, and I always had a negative view of poker. I just thought, you know, cards, a waste of time, you know, it's all based on luck. What's the point? You're just gambling away your money, it's stupid. And that was my attitude towards poker. But then I decided one night, you know, because I'm a sociable person, I would like to stay behind and play with them, because it was beers, it was poker, it was crisps, it was all the people at work, a good group of people. One night I did decide to play. I think it was like a £10 or £20 small sit and go tournament amongst us. I'd picked up the basic set of rules from my friends, so I was playing along, largely just playing premium hands. But I remember as well that at some point during the evening, I got a call from my friend to say that they were out having drinks, and that appealed to me more. So what I did in a hand against the boss's wife was, when she made a bet, I shoved all in, and my aim here was to get rid of my chips. It was to lose my chips so that I could go out and have drinks with my friends. but I actually won the hand, put her on tilt. It definitely wound her up. My intention were to lose my chips to her, but I actually won all of her chips. Now, that was awkward because in the next hands, I did the same thing again and I gradually lost my chips to other people. She was knocked out of the tournament. And of course, you know, being knocked out of the tournament by someone who doesn't want to be there themselves, that's a bit of a wind-up. But anyway, that was the first engagement I had in poker, and then from that day onwards I did a couple more of these poker evenings, and then I got onto the online poker scene where I would play free roll tournaments where the prize pool is so small and the field is huge. We're talking like tournaments with 5 to 10,000 runners. I would come quite high in these, and what I started to do is I then started to play bigger buy-in tournaments, and by bigger I mean, you know, $5 to $10. I just really enjoyed it. I've bought books about poker, I've read poker strategy, I've tried to get better at the game, and I play cash games as well. But poker for me is a game that allowed me to make the transition from physical team sports to singles mental sports, where I would use my brain a lot more instead of my body. Those are a few of the things that I do to pass the time now when I am outside of work hours, and I just wondered what people my age are doing nowadays. I just think to hear about it would also help to expand everyone's horizons of what's out there and what we can do. You know, festivals are a big thing nowadays, food markets, you know, what's going on, beer festivals, things like that. It'd be great just to be able to have everyone communicating to one another about what can be done each weekend, so that we're not all going home on Friday just to then see each other again on Monday morning. For instance, I went to a beer festival about a year ago with a couple of my workmates, and I had one of the best evenings I've had in Manchester, because we all had that passion for beer. We all had that desire to go and explore new beers, new tastes, and whilst we have the same passion, all our tastes are different. So we're all going to get beers, bringing them back to one another to try. And again, you're expanding each other's horizons in terms of what is out there for you. You're introducing people to new things. And I think that's really important that we don't lose that in this age of social media. Now, I'm not picking on social media because, again, a lot of the things we can do which are excellent spring from social media. But there is a negative spotlight on social media when the focus of it is that it keeps people from engaging with one another offline in the real world. And I do think it's a danger that could negatively impact the lives of the young people in our society right now, who have had nothing but social media for their entire lives. You know, I'm looking forward to going back down to London again this weekend so I can do precisely what I've been talking about, which is interact and be sociable with my friends that I don't get to see a lot of. It's just worth thinking about every now and then, so that you don't become someone who gets into the routine of not looking for things that are out there for you to do. You should always be trying to make the most of your time when you're not at work.
It's Friday. Yay! The weekend is nigh.
Just received a Snapchat from Paul Duggan. Shout out to Paul Duggan in Australia. Woo! Good day, mate. I'll read that snap just as soon as I've pulled up into the car park, Paul. Now, that is one example of where social media is an incredible thing. I have a friend, Paul Duggan, who has emigrated to Australia, and obviously they are thousands of miles away and a 24-hour time difference, which makes it nearly impossible for us to have any social interaction at all. To try and speak together on social media when we can is an invaluable thing, and one of social media's excellent points. So it's not all bad. I just saw you sitting in the Subaru. I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, saw the security guard the other day and drove past him on the road. He was going the other way in his car, and we just looked at one another, and I'm always like, where's my bloody horn and hiss? And beeped him when I was about 20-30 meters down the road, but I looked in the mirror and I saw him wave. So yeah, don't abandon social media. It's still a very good thing to have around, but use it to connect with people so that you can make plans to see them in person. And if you can't meet them in person, definitely use it to let them know you're thinking about them. Anyway, it would be really good for you to put some comments in the comments box below. Let me know what you're doing. If there's anything that you think I would like to attend, I'd be more than happy to do that. So yeah, have a great day. See you soon. Done.